Hi everyone, I'm Donnalouise and welcome to my YouTube channel for the love of puzzles. Today we begin our Puzzle Along 2000 series. This is a series geared towards people who have perhaps never done a larger than 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, but would like to attempt a larger one. However, it can be overwhelming not knowing where to start and what to do to get going. It's a lot of pieces. So we are doing a 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle together. The idea is that I will take you through step by step my thought process, my preparations, my technique, and if you want, you can follow along with me and mimic everything that I do in hopes that you will accomplish the jigsaw puzzle as well. Now, I know many of you are veteran jigsaw puzzlers out there, and so if you just want to grab the jigsaw puzzle and puzzle in your own way at your own pace, that's fine too. I just love the idea of a lot of people around the world just assembling the same jigsaw puzzle together. I really think that's special, so thank you for joining me with this. Now, the first thing is, if you are going to follow along with me, I hope you didn't open the box yet. Or at least I hope you didn't take the pieces out of the bag, because the pieces are still in the bag, and that's like the starting process for me. So do not remove the pieces from the bag. I suggest that you watch this first video in its entirety and then go back and re-watch as you puzzle along with me. I'm estimating about 3 videos for this first series, for this 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. I know some have commented that they're going to wait for all the videos to be out before they start the jigsaw puzzle. And these videos will be up permanently. So it doesn't matter if it takes you 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, or 5 years. It doesn't matter at all. Just do it at your own pace and have fun. So that being said, if at any point you are not enjoying this, you want to go back to doing your 500 piece puzzles or your 1,000 piece puzzles, that's fine. Pick the jigsaw puzzle up. Maybe come back to it later. But if you're really just not having any fun whatsoever, it's okay not to finish the jigsaw puzzle. Just put it away. I'm sure someone will be more than happy to buy this puzzle off of you. It's Ravensburger quality, it retains its value, and it's a lovely image. I do not want you to force yourself to complete the jigsaw puzzle if you're not having fun, so please don't do that. This is for the love of puzzles. Every step that I do here is to puzzle smarter, not harder. This is not to challenge anyone. This is to hopefully smoothly go through the process of assembling a 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. So I know some people out there may, criticize or comment on my techniques, but there's a reason why I do what I do, and I hope it helps you accomplish your first 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. But if you don't, that's okay as well. You tried. And it just means a lot to me that you're here joining in on the fun. If you want to buy the jigsaw puzzle, I'll leave 2 links to my Amazon storefronts in the description below. I have a .com and a .co.uk. If you purchase through them, I get a commission, which helps me support the channel and make these videos. But no pressure. If you prefer shopping from a local retailer or find the best price and the best deal, absolutely. I'll just include those links just in case you shop from Amazon anyway. It'll help me out if you purchase through them. The jigsaw puzzle in question is from Ravensburger, 2,000 pieces, called Novel Avenue. We actually put this up on a poll, on a vote, on the community tab here on the YouTube channel, and this is the one that won. It's from 2020, and the artist's name is Demelsa Haughton. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. They also did If Fish Could Walk, which is really lovely as well. Now, the first thing you need to consider is how large the jigsaw puzzle is. On the side of the box, there typically is always the dimension of the finished jigsaw puzzle. This one is 98 by 75 centimeters, which is approximately 38.5 by 29.5 inches. So I grabbed out my tape measure and I measured my puzzle table. I have a dedicated puzzling area. So I know that my table is actually large enough to accommodate the jigsaw puzzle. What you will need to do is figure out where you can assemble the jigsaw puzzle. If you don't have a large enough area, you can buy maybe a cheap foam board, piece of foam board. They're lightweight but thick and pretty sturdy. You can usually get them at stationery stores or craft stores. Or something a bit more durable, thicker, a bit heavier, a bit more expensive, a piece of wooden MDF board that you could get from your local hardware store. So if you don't have an area that's large enough to accommodate the jigsaw puzzle, you could buy something like that. Or You can puzzle in smaller sections, then perhaps slide them and store them on foam boards and eventually reassemble them perhaps on the floor altogether so you can see them. What's really nice about a Ravensburger puzzle, we know they hold together quite well. Pieces, parts, sections move around quite nicely. So if you have to puzzle in sections and then reassemble them at the end, that should be fine as well. So take a minute or two to consider where you're going to do the jigsaw puzzle. Can you leave it out? Are animals going to get in the way? Is it going to sit out for 5 weeks or 5 years? So just prep your puzzling area. Make sure you have a space that will accommodate it. Next, lighting always seems to be quite important. There's no point me showing you my lighting setup because my lighting setup is more for filming rather than puzzling. The one nice thing with this Ravensburger jigsaw puzzle is we know there's not a high gloss finish. Lighting is so much more important when it's really glossy puzzles and you get so much glare off the pieces. I know a lot of people really prefer natural light, so if you can have access to natural light while puzzling, that's good. Other people I've seen wear headbands with a light source on it. Whatever you need, get out, even if you have a magnifying glass, have that at your disposal. Nice light, any supplies that you need to make sure you can enjoy and see the jigsaw puzzle quite well. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to need more jigsaw puzzle accessories. For a 2,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, I typically have enough space on my table, but I pulled these out anyway just to show you. They definitely are much more useful when I'm doing a larger piece count like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. So first of all, I have some reusable, resealable, reusable bags. Great way to store pieces, seal them up, and not lose any. I just keep those in my puzzling accessories pile. And then I also have more durable, reusable containers. I do have the lids for these if I have to store pieces, put the lids on. But what I actually like is that I can put pieces in one and just kind of stack them on top of one another. Even when they have a few pieces in them, they don't move around. And then I know we should all have a couple of these empty puzzle boxes that we can use as well to store puzzle pieces as we're sorting them. I don't know if we're going to actually use any of these for this size jigsaw puzzle, but if you have them, just have them on the side, and if we need them, we'll pull them out. The other thing that we may not use this time around, but what I like to call my sorting trays. This is when I have to sort pieces by shape, typically water, sky. What I like about these, this is actually foam board. This is what I was referring to earlier. My hubby, I should say, glued a white to a black piece. And the reason for this is I'm taking these to Spain. If I have a lot of light colored pieces I need to sort by shape, I can do so on this side and see them. But if I have a lot of darker color pieces, I can sort by piece shape on this side. So very handy and helpful to have. I'm not sure if we will actually use them for this jigsaw puzzle, because just quickly looking at the image, I don't think there'll be a lot of need to sort by piece shape. However, I have my pile of accessories there just in case I do need them. There's one thing I've been wanting to get that I don't have is like a puzzling spatula. And I find that's more useful on bigger piece jigsaw puzzles when the pieces are crumbly and you want to slide sections you've built into position. I think for this Ravensburger we'll be able to hopefully, touch wood, knock on wood, move sections into place easily without them falling apart. So grab your puzzling accessories. We may or may not need them, but they're there just in case. I've changed my camera angle. This is my top-down view now. And the next thing we are going to do is I want you to take at least 5 minutes and admire this artwork. I want you to look at it. I want you to familiarize yourself with the various things in the image so we know what to expect. And this is where I kind of make a plan of how I might sort the pieces. And yes, my technique involves a full sort. However, we're going to pick out a few things to maybe build as we sort. So first, let's look at this. The sky area transitions from dark to blues to reds, a bit of yellow, with some whitish and some clouds. Look at these bright stars and teardrops hanging down. These little circular hole things, there's some down here as well, but you can see the background, blue, reds, yellows, and whites. Look at all the little critters. There's so many animals in this jigsaw puzzle, you wouldn't even notice them all. Little deer, birds, butterflies, the giraffe, obviously the big tiger stands out. Little raccoon maybe having tea with a fox. This underwater scene, some geese and flamingos. I enjoy looking at the puzzle because then when we sort, we'll go, oh, look, I found the squirrel, okay. And you may not pick up on everything right away, but I love to take time to look at the jigsaw puzzle. So I come up with a plan on how I'm going to sort, but for you, the nice thing is, then I will do my full sort and at the end explain to you how I ended up sorting. Because sometimes I start with a plan and as I sort my way through, I end up with something slightly different. I know I'm going to pick out pieces with words with lettering. And I'm going to put them in a pile and I think I'm going to try to build as I sort the words. I love this. For some reason, I'm drawn to this yellow book here. This yellow book, I'm going to try to build as I sort this yellow book. I'm going to focus on like these kind of illegible words. The reds, this book stands out. These middle books may end up being sorted together. Things like the water at the bottom. These beige books. I think a lot of maybe the blue, I'll have to concentrate on the design. Hopefully I'll be able to pick this out with the tiger. The border pieces we'll put to the side, but I think I'll build maybe the yellow book. So yeah, I just love taking time to look at the image, appreciate the artwork, have an idea of what I'm going to sort before I dive in. My plan is to have as many small little piles. I would rather have 20 piles of sorted pieces of about 100 pieces each than have large piles, because then it feels like you're doing smaller jigsaw puzzles and then bringing them all together. There is kind of like a transition, the sky with other pieces. We'll have to see how much we see per piece. But basically, take the time right now and look at your jigsaw puzzle. Admire it. Look, there's a bumblebee. That's like a little house. Oh, and it's called abeille et abeille, which means in English, bee and bee. And there's a bee there and a bee there. Too cute. Just the different colors, all the little things you discover. So much fun. Her hair. Now, there is going to be a pile of unknown pieces. Don't spend a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes on a piece if you're not sure where to put it. Make yourself an unknown pile. I'm going to end up with an unknown pile. And I try to, as I sort the pieces, pile them up in the area where they will appear on the puzzle. So for example, all these sky pieces, you'll probably see them end up being sorted at the top. And I'll try to like sort the books in areas, maybe focus the center area, these books over here, the bottom down here. But basically, I got to just crack into it, start sorting, and then come back and explain to you in detail every pile, what I did, how I sorted. But the things I want to try to build as I sort are the wording, if possible, as much wording as possible, maybe this yellow book, and who knows, maybe a few of the critters. Now, if you find pieces that are already connected, those are gifts from the puzzle fairies. Accept them. Do not break them apart. And yeah, we'll have fun. Now, sorting is part of the process. Take your time, 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes. Like I said, it doesn't matter how long it'll take you. So how do I start the sorting process? That's the next step. Okay, so remove your box and keep your box available. Refer to your box. I love the image. Refer to the image for each piece. Figure out if you know where it goes. If not, put it in your own unknown pile. But definitely keep the image handy, keep it close by. Now, gently remove the bag. Do not shuffle the pieces. Do not mix the pieces. I'll explain why in a bit. For Ravensburger, hopefully, yeah, there's a lot of blue puzzle dust in the box. We'll go empty that out. What I'm going to do is I leave the bag nice and flat. I'm going to cut open the bag and I reach in and remove a few pieces at a time, a little handful, and I sort them. And I move up and down the bag like this, sorting pieces, sorting pieces. I will admit, when I get to the end, my sorting process may not be as thorough. But to start with, I really try to be quite thorough. This keeps a lot of the puzzle dust in the bag, but also, when puzzles are made and cut, there's this device that mixes them together. Some puzzles get mixed better than others. What I've noticed is that often you'll find pieces kind of chunked together in the bag that go in a similar area. So we may find a lot of the sky pieces that end up being in this area of the bag. That's why I don't mix up the pieces. It makes the sorting go faster and a bit easier. So what you're going to see next is I'm going to I'll do it right now. And yes, there's going to be puzzle dust on the table. We'll deal with that later. So I'm going to cut my bag open. Try not to dump too many pieces out accidentally. And yeah, I'm just going to grab a few pieces at a time. Just a few pieces at a time. Appreciate the pieces, enjoy the pieces, turn them over, see what you can see and discover. My goodness, this is going to be lots of fun. So for example, this looks like some of the books, the lighter color books, maybe these books right here, this book right here. That's where I'm going to assume that goes. So that's going to be one pile, and I'll probably have it, closer to that side of the table. Now if you look, darker pieces, very dark, that could be sky. I'll probably do just a dark pile. I think it's probably sky. It'll go at the top in my sky. For example, that looks like sky with a cloud so close to the dark pile, but the difference is this dark pile doesn't have anything else in it. This dark pile has a cloud. Oh, look at this. So this book right here, let me bring my box. I'm going to see if I can find it. Take a bit of time. Look, it looks like it's part of this book right here. So it's going to go in its own pile. If you spend a minute or two and you can't figure out where it goes, that's okay. Then put it in your unknown pile. Come back to it later. So basically, let me move this off a bit. So here's one book. Here's another book. Here is a reddish, darkish piece with a line through it. That's most likely the sky here with these teardrops. And that's kind of close in color to this reddish piece, dark sky. But I'm going to put it in this pile here. I think any sky that has a line in it or a teardrop and a star will separate them as well. So I'm sub-sorting the sky, but all the sky pieces will be towards the top. And I'm pretty sure, let's see, this could be, oh, you see, I'm not too sure. I thought maybe it would be part of her dress and the lion, but I think it's actually part of this book up here. So I might sort all this area together over here. I do believe it's part of that book. So that'll go up there. Here is a border piece. I'm going to put my border piece to the side. I know it's probably some water down there. This piece right here. Okay, so it's bluish. It's got a bit of swirl. I think it might be part of that book, but just having a quick look, it could be part of that book. So I'm unsure where this goes. So I'm going to make a pile of blue book pieces that I'm unsure of, but it's just going to be blue book pieces. Could it be this book? Could be right there. I think it's probably right there. So I'm going to assign it to that book. So you see how this book is now being built over here. This book is being built over there, and so forth. I know I'm going to have missorts. I know I'm going to have pieces that are in the wrong place, and that's okay. And I'm going to have pieces that I'm unsure where they go. Like this is just gray, completely gray. It could be sky. I'm going to make like an unknown pile of things. Again, this is a dark piece with white. This is probably part of that dark sky with the white holes. So dark sky with the holes, dark sky with the clouds, kind of put them over there. Let's see this piece right here. It's white and some, could it be part of the giraffe or more holes? It's probably part of these holes over here. So I'll put those white, what I think is a giraffe? No, I think that this is part of these holes, this sky right here. So they're gonna go over there. So already I'm having several mini piles for the sky area, but they're all gonna be at the top. This is a border piece, and you see it probably goes up here somewhere, but I'll leave it with my border piece. This, interesting, it's a white piece with some dark. Could it be down here? Perhaps I'll just make, I think it might be part of that, but I might make a pile of unknown light colored pieces. So if you do your unknown piles, you can have multiple unknown piles. I think it might be down here, but I'm not sure. I'll place it down there for now, but it may end up being an unknown pile. And here. So this is part of my yellow book. The yellow book, I'm pretty sure that I want to try to build as I sort. So I'm going to keep these pieces over here. And then this piece right here, a dark piece with some lines and some white, really hard. It's probably too hard for you all to see on camera. I'm not sure where this goes. I think I'm going to put this in an unknown dark pile. I do think it's part of a book. I don't want to put it up towards the sky. I think it's part of one of these books. Perhaps there's dark areas there, there's dark areas there. Could be over here, but okay, I've spent enough time. I really don't know where it goes. So this is going to be my first unknown dark area pile right there, dark book pile. So there you go. We've started the process. Unknown dark pile. I think that goes to the floor. And basically, I'm just going to keep going. And yes, I'm going to end up with a lot of small piles. But then I just work and bring them all together. Like I said, I'm going to try to build as many words as possible. I might try to build some of the critters, or maybe put all the characters and the critters in one pile. I don't know, or maybe put them with their associated book. And I'll come back, because whatever I start the process of sorting, often it changes as I move along. And we'll see how well I go. And it's okay to have missorts. It's okay to have unknown piles. At the end, they'll come together, because we'll have so many small piles we know what's in it. Once we build them, every so often you'll see I'll go back to my unknown pile to find pieces. But take the time to enjoy the image, explore the image, get to know what you're puzzling. And now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate sorting, but we are going to take the time to go piece by piece and sort. I do realize, even myself, as time goes by, my sorting becomes less efficient, less thorough, but we shall get there, and it's okay. Don't have to do it all in one sitting. This is for fun. This can take you 2-3 days. Yeah. And then I'll come back and explain to you every single pile that I made. And sometimes after I'm done the jigsaw puzzle, I actually come back and I go, you know what? I did this thing with the sorting when I should have maybe done something else. So for those of you waiting to watch all the videos, could help. Typically that happens with larger piece count jigsaw puzzles than just 2,000. This, I'm hoping, is a nice, clear image, and we will have fun and not too much trouble sorting. But enjoy the sorting. Pick out some things that you want to try to build as you sort. For me, I'm drawn to, like I said, the yellow book, but maybe you're drawn to the characters or the water. Build as much as you want to build as you're sorting. Like, if you end up having tons already built, that's great. Or on the flip side, if you have nothing built and just everything sorted, that's fine also. So enjoy the time lapse, watch me sort, and then I'll come back and I'll explain to you what I ended up for piles. I will let you know that I'm not timing this, because I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, it only took Donnalouise 3 hours to sort and it took me 3 days. Like, that's not the point. So I'm not timing any of this. Go at your own pace, but let's try to do as thorough a sort as possible. Okay, bear with me here, people. I know this must look to many chaotic, but let me go through everything in detail and I'll try to put up some graphics at the end. You saw I started with all the pieces in the bag and I slowly took them out and I gave each piece the attention it needed, and this is the result. I believe there's like 23 piles here, counting this whole sky area kind of as one pile. But basically, I went through and pulled the pieces out. Most of the puzzle dust is down, just left in this corner, which I will clean up. And I sorted. Now, I thought at first I might have to sort more by color, but if you look, take the time to look, each book has a very distinct texture on it. Like this book right here, it's maybe not so noticeable on the box, but on the pieces, you can definitely see the pattern, which is really nice. So, this is what I've done. First of all, like I said, I basically built the yellow book as I sorted. So try that, give it a go. See how much of the yellow book you can build as you sort. Then, all these piles are basically in position with the books as they appear in the photo. So right up here, this pile right here is this book right here. I concentrated, I built the words. You'll notice a lot of words I've built. It's called the Lovebirds. Notice the hearts on the book. Notice the black railing where the two, you got geese there and flamingos there and that little door. So there's actually a lot going on for each book, but that's this pile right here. Then up here, I have this book, which I'm not sure how well I sorted because of the design of the pages, but the green. I got the green out and some of the wording and some of the detail. I decided that this little house thing I would put up with these pieces. They're up here. We'll talk more about the sky later. So that's this small pile up here, this book, and I think I have some of the words assembled right there, as you can see. Down here, this pile right here is this white book with red detailing and the red door. Notice the detail in the picture with the person sitting on the edge. I was able to assemble some of the wording as well. Then let's keep moving. This book here with the writing and the two red edges, those two black areas were a bit tricky. That's this pile all here. Now, I managed, I think, to pick out these two books right here, very skinny, very thin, some detailing in the book. I think I have those pieces right in this small pile right here. I don't know how well they're sorted. But basically, that's all the piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 piles comprises all the books on this side. So let's go to the other side now. I actually did do some of the border for this book. Bit tricky, there's some white. I have a feeling I have some missorts. I have some white up in my sky. But this first book here, all those pieces right there. I did pull out the butterfly that crosses over between the two books and put the butterfly pieces right here. This book here, the white, compare it to this white book, this one has like wings and feathers where that's more of a plant. And note the two darker windows and the brown door. So I put all these pieces for this book right here and I was able to build part of the title. Now this book right here is the one that I'm telling you about first, about the design. It almost looks like a maze. It looks better on the pieces than it does on the box. There's more detail. Notice there's like 3 little doorways to that book as well. And I was able to do some of the wording. This book here with the butterfly on top and the little girl there, notice the nice swirly detail. That's this pile right here, and I did also do some of the wording. This darker book here, did some of the wording, and the darker lines right there, that's that pile right there. And then finally this last white book here, green door, the giraffe, pile up there, and I did some of the wording as well. Now this one last book that corners here, I found a few little pieces just because you can kind of make out the door or the windows the window frames, a little tiny pile right there. I have a feeling most of these pieces will be mixed in with other pieces. So what I did is, if I could find a distinct pattern on the piece and I knew which pile it would go to, I favored that pile. If there was more of one book on the piece than another, I favored the pile that had more. So basically, going this way over, I have a pile for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 main books, and a little pile for that book. And then we can build this way. So then, top down, the middle. I kind of combine these two top books here, the person and the plant and the squirrel and the two top books, they're really up here. And really, I probably could have combined a lot of these piles, but I have actually managed to separate them. The one with the butterfly and the little butterflies there. This one, the one with the polka dots. This one, the one with the little tree right there. And actually, I managed to connect it to the one underneath, the white one. B and B, abe et abe, and those pieces are right there. But I was able to build the door and the little wording and some wording there. This red book, very distinct red book, the little person, that's that pile right there. I know it should be underneath, but I was running out of room, so it's over there. Then this blue book here, you have the raccoon and the fox having tea, the dark window, the dark door, sorry, the bright window, that's this pile right here. So basically, I piled them down the middle. When I got to these last thin books here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thin books. I actually piled them all up. And that's the person with the tall hat and in the red dress giving the flowers, the black cat. So all those thin books, I piled them all here. I do think that'll be easy enough to build, even though there's a lot of books in one. It's just that each piece had multiple books on it, and I decided to just clump them. So from top to bottom, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 piles of books that when we get there, we can just build it top down. The person, the red hair, and the tiger, that pile's right over here. This person with the long blonde hair reading the book on the book, that big pile is right there. The wording can be a bit tricky. I may have some missorts, and that's fine. This wording on this book is more curved. This one is more legible. Down here, everything that's kind of, I think, ground and water and floor, I think kind of this area, I'm not too sure. There's some more obvious pieces that I know belong there, but then there's some other pieces, I'm not sure if they go there or not, but that's where I put them. And finally, if you look, this is all what I believe is at the top sky. But notice how I've spread them out, basically trying to mimic the flow of the top. Pieces with a lot of white, and some of these white pieces may actually belong elsewhere. I don't know, I put them up there. The white with the purpley holes and the bright stars, the purpley bluish in the clouds, the darker blue, the darker brown, the lighter brown, the brown with the holes. You can see the kind of gradient effect that I've created. These pieces probably belong on the other side of the dark brown, but it's close. So I hope you're not feeling overwhelmed. Just take your time. Even if you sort 10 minutes in one sitting and then go away and come back. I did notice the more I sorted, the easier it got because I would recognize the patterns on the books. My unknown pile, I will admit, is quite small. Just this little pile right down here. And of all the puzzles that I've done lately, I'm going to go out and say that this was probably the easiest one I've sorted in a long time. For 2,000 pieces, I loved sorting this. It was so much fun, but I took my time over several days, several hours. I didn't rush it. So what I would like you to try to do now is try to sort as best as possible. Oh, wait, sorry. All the border pieces are down here. And some of them I did connect and assemble. Is that 24? Let's count our piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh God, I've lost track. There's 20 something piles. We can count them later. I forget. I'm not sure in my 23 when I originally counted if I counted the borders. But here's all the border pieces and we can deal with them later. So try to sort as best as possible in as many piles as possible. As much as you can, mimicking the image on the box, mimicking what I've done, which basically is like the image laid out. But even if you only sort like 50% as well as I did, that's fine, you'll get there. Try to assemble the yellow book as you build. See if you can do it. Leave your pieces out, clean up your puzzle dust, get rid of your bag. Then, once you are all done sorting, step back. Come back the next day, come back a few hours later, and I want you to ask yourself, 1, how big is your unknown pile? If your unknown pile has like 100 or more pieces, go through your unknown pile one more time and see if you can actually distribute them to your smaller piles. Perhaps there's a piece in there you'll go, oh wait, that's definitely that book. Ask yourself how well your sky is subsorted. If you just threw that all up in a pile, go through and subsort your sky a bit better. If instead of building as you sorted the yellow book, if you just piled it up together and just did a full sort, please go ahead and build the yellow book so you'll be at the same stage we're at for the next video. But also, while you're sorting, if you want, build as much as you can. See, I even built some of the tops of the books. I actually will admit I had to stop myself because there's so much I wanted to build as I sort. And I didn't want to do that on this video because I didn't want it to be half done. But if you're home and you're sorting, and if you can connect more pieces as you're sorting, please go right ahead. Try it, give it a go. See how much you can build as you sort. And for those veteran puzzlers out there who are very familiar with doing larger piece count puzzles, I will admit that this puzzle I think lends itself very well to building as you sort. In fact, I probably would have tried to build all the books as I sorted, left the sky, left the people at the bottom and the ground. You could give that a go if you want, for those people who are familiar. But for the rest of you, sort in as many piles as possible by book. Do the sky, try to lay it out in a nice kind of gradient, following the pattern of the sky up there. Try to build the yellow as you sort. If not, if you've just sorted it all, go ahead and build as much as the yellow as you can. If your unknown pile is significantly large, go back to it one more time, revisit it, and see if you can find homes for some of those pieces. But more importantly, have fun, enjoy it. I absolutely loved sorting this puzzle. I did, no joke, no lie, loved it. Loved it, and I can't wait to start putting it together. So in the next video, we'll start assembling. I don't care if it takes you 5 days to sort this puzzle. If it takes you 2 weeks, take your time, enjoy it. Remember, this is geared for people who may find this overwhelming, but trust me, the assembly process is gonna go smooth. I already have a plan in my head. So for now, when you're done sorting, and you've done building the yellow, and you've gone through your unknown pile, and you're happy with your sky, the only thing I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna clean up my blue puzzle dust. And I think I'm gonna move off the 2 bunches with the people and the floor, the bottom. I'm just gonna put them off to the side, and I'm gonna put my unknown pieces in the bottom of an empty puzzle box because I like to be able to see my unknown pieces. And then we'll come back to the next video. And I can't wait. This is so much fun. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're having fun. I hope this doesn't overwhelm you. I'll also move off the border pieces. Let's try to count properly here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is part of that book. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Oh my goodness. Okay, so maybe we have 27 and a mini 28. We might have about 28 piles here. Do not worry if you end up with a lot less piles. I try to do as thorough of a sort as possible right from the get-go, but I understand a lot of people, So if you ended up with, say, piles with a lot of, one pile with all the red pieces, maybe then, once you're all done, go back and try to subsort those red pieces into 3 piles. If you ended up with one pile of all the pieces to the white books, the 2 mainly white books, go back and then try to subsort them. So it's okay. You're giving it a good try. You're giving it a go. You know, this is just how I do things. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't try to do it all in one sitting. I've done this over multiple days, multiple hours, and I loved it. And if you so feel inclined, feel free to build as much as you can as you sort. Just to quickly recap, 1, sort all the pieces as best as possible. 2, build as much as possible of the yellow book as you're sorting. If you do end up just piling the pieces all up, try to build that yellow book before you watch the next video. 3, while you're sorting, feel free to build as much as you want. I did quite a few of the book titles. Do as much or as little as you want. 4, if you have a large number of pieces in your unknown pile, maybe revisit it. See if you can, find homes for those pieces. 5, if you did sort pieces by color into like large piles, for example, if you put all the red pieces in one pile, go through that and try to subsort into the appropriate books. I think we're at 6. See if you have a nice gradient for the sky, if you've kind of subsorted the sky area out. And 7, have fun. Enjoy it. Take your time. There's no rush. Look at every single piece. This is beautiful artwork. Just enjoy the process. I'm thinking that this will be a 3-video series. In the next video, I'm thinking we'll be able to build this main whole area with all the books. And then in the last video, probably build the area on the ground and the sky. The sky will be a little bit tricky, but I don't think it'll be too bad. I think we have less than 300 pieces there if I were to estimate. Leave your comments below. I'm really interested to know how many of you are puzzling along with me, trying to mimic as much as possible my style and how many of you are just puzzling along for fun in your own way. If you have any questions or comments, leave those below. If you need some encouragement, we're all here supporting one another. Just remember to have fun. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. For the love of puzzles, I hope you enjoy my videos. Please consider subscribing, and until next time, ciao!